thought I'd drop by just to go through how we did against Newcastle. Um, we're a proper up and down team at the moment, so just wanted to get some thoughts and views across. Obviously, of the 4-1 win over Newcastle today. So just to go through the starting lineup, started with De Gea and goal, obviously. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Victor Lindelof, Maguire, Shaw, Fred and McTominay in that holding position, Andreas Pereira behind the front three of Rashford, Martial, and Mason Greenwood. Now, it was encouraging to see Mason Greenwood starting. I was happy to see that when I saw the lineup. It was good to see. I was thinking, Daniel James hasn't had the best of times recently, so this was an opportunity for Greenwood, and it was good to see him obviously take that. Just good to see him start, especially being at home as well. So I think Ollie picked a good game for him to start in, to be honest. And just touching on Greenwood, I do think that Ollie's kind of got a plan for him. I do feel like Ollie's sort of like deciding as and when Greenwood's going to play and also when he's going to start. But today was a good game for him to start in as well. Obviously, goals came by the way of, well, obviously Newcastle scored first by that young kid, Matt Longstaff again, Sean Longstaff's younger brother. Good finish again. But we've just not been showing the solidity that we've needed and I've wanted to see. But obviously our goals come from Greenwood with a good finish. Obviously, slight deflection, but anyway, we'll take that. Martial got 2 and Rashford got a header. I'm not too sure how many headers we've got from open play this season. I know we haven't really scored from corners. I think we've got like 2 goals from corners this whole season. So that's something that we need to improve on as well. And I thought that with Harry Maguire being part of the squad now, we would get a few more opportunities. Now, the game against Watford, he did get an opportunity from a corner, headed it directly at obviously the goalkeeper. But that will come in time. We don't really have a dead ball specialist either. I know Rashford likes to have the free kicks whereby we're having a crack at goal. In terms of actual delivery into the box, we don't really have a set piece specialist or a dead ball specialist. So yeah, it's one of those where we're gonna have to try and develop, I suppose. But in any case, guys, got 6 people watching. Much appreciated for that. Hope you guys had a good Christmas. It's been a bit of a busy spell for myself, running up and down, not cooking. Left that to the missus, which done a great job. But yeah, I hope you guys have all had a good time. What's going on, G? Good. Red Devil Studio, my mate, old man G. It's a good win today. But I only say we progressed once we've done 3 in a row, and that's a good point. Chimezi says Greenwood reminds me of Van Persie. The guy Greenwood is good and will soon mature to give more to the team. No, so it's a good point. Greenwood, we've given him a nickname, Mason Van Greenwood. That comes from my mate Terry. But yeah, it's Rashford scoring a headed goal. I think that was something that we've been lacking. Obviously, we got rid of Lukaku. Ibrahimovic went to the MLS. Fellaini obviously is gone as well. So in terms of the aerial threat, Victor Lindelof isn't the best in the air, as we all know. But it was good to see us get a headed goal. Rashford, in his first season, when he broke onto the scene, he did get a couple of headed goals. I remember one being against Arsenal, but it was good to see Wan-Bissaka get an assist as well, because obviously his confidence would have been, knocked a little bit, not a lot, but from when he conceded that penalty, obviously up against Watford. But it was good to see him getting forward and actually whipping the ball into the box, because there's a reluctancy to do that purely because we don't have that type of player. We don't have that type of presence in our team at the moment to be knocking balls into the area. Just wanted to go through the ratings that I've given the lads. I've gone with De Gea. I've given him a 6 purely because as of late, it's been a bit shaky. Not kept a clean sheet again today. Not obviously purely down to him. It was a good finish, as I say, from Matty Longstaff, but it's just without keeping clean sheets at one end, and if we're not going to be scoring loads, like I said, we've got 4 today, but if we're not going to be scoring goals consistently, obviously we didn't get a goal against Watford. We only scored 1 goal against Everton. If we're not going to be getting tons of goals consistently, then we need to be sort of keeping it tight at the other end. Now that comes from the whole team. However, the mistake that they made, obviously against Watford, that's that's a big one. So obviously looks a bit more assured today, but we weren't under the cosh at all in terms of the stats. Let's have a look. So I don't obviously we was pretty much all over him today. So like I said, to concede a goal today, and obviously conceding the goal first, I don't want to say it's obviously it's not down to De Gea, but it's one of those where you're just like, okay, we've still not kept his clean sheet. Yeah, we've got the 4 goals, but we need to be keeping it fresh and keeping it tight at our end. So 74% possession to Newcastle's 26. We had 22 shots with 10 on target to Newcastle's 7 shots, 2 on target, and we had 5 corners. So Newcastle didn't have any. So yeah, it's one of those where, listen, we're creating opportunities, which is always a plus. What you do get worried about is when we're not creating opportunities, when people are coming and parking the bus. Newcastle have a tendency to always come and try and play. They're not really one of the teams that will park the bus against us, where we ultimately struggle to break down teams that go and put 11, 10 men behind the ball. That's where I've been saying, look, this requires a certain type of midfield where we look light and we look weak. Again, Matt Longstaff has broke into the box and a very good finish. That's coming from the midfield. He's a midfielder. So that means he's run off at one of our midfielders, McTominay or Fred, and he's coming to the box. But we've got our defenders there, and we've not done well enough. Let's be honest. As I say, giving De Gea a 6, give Wan-Bissaka a 7, Victor Lindelof a 6, Maguire a 7, Luke Shaw a 7, Fred a 7, McTominay a 6. Didn't have his best game today, obviously, getting subbed at half time. And obviously getting a yellow card inside the first minute. That was, you're setting yourself up for being subbed or getting sent off. So getting a yellow card in the first minute wasn't great. I'll give him Pogba a 7 as well. Pereira or Andreas Pereira giving him a 7. Mason Greenwood giving a 7. Marcus Rashford a 7, and Martial an 8. So Martial's one of those guys that turns up sometimes he doesn't. You don't know what you're going to get. It's like Marmite. Some people love him, some people hate him, because he's one of those players, like Manchester United, is very inconsistent. You don't know what Martial you're going to get from game to game. Now, we've all seen he's a very, very good finisher when he gets the opportunity, which he done today. A very good chip over the Newcastle goalkeeper, and obviously he caught the goalkeeper at his near post as well. So Martial has those tricks where he'll give the goalkeeper the eye, so to speak, feign to go far corner and then drop it in the near post. Done that against City as well, against Edison, so it's not the first time he's done that. However, the guy's so inconsistent and so frustrating, because you do not know what you're going to get from any given game, which, as I said, is kind of a staple of what Man United are at the moment. So let's not just put it down to him, because it's not. However, it's just frustrating that we can't do, we can't consistently keep a certain level. We're always up and down. As Ollie said at the pre-match post-match interview, he was saying, look, it's typically we've had one game closely followed by one good game closely followed by one that isn't so good. We did that against City, Tottenham, obviously then drawing against Everton at home, losing to Watford. It's up and down. Chimizu said, boys play like a team, and it's cool seeing the fighting spirit. Yeah, I agree with that. It's a good point. Raymond says, United looking like Barcelona in the second half. Yeah, good point. With all that possession ball, Pogba's inclusion increases everybody's confidence. It does. It really does. I think with Pogba on the pitch, the quality is just there. Let's just be honest. The quality is just there. So if Pogba does end up leaving in the summer, if he's staying in the team, he's going to be bringing that sort of that flair and creativity to us, and obviously a goal threat as well. And hopefully he plays well for us whilst he's there. That increases his sale price, and we're getting the best out of him in the meantime. So yeah, works both ways. Red Devil Studio says rotation is key. Also, we have Burnley and Arsenal away, then City in the cup. If we don't rotate, we will suffer. It's a good point. The only problem is with rotation at the moment. I don't mind in terms of rotating the front line. I'm fine with that. We've got a couple of players that can do a job. Daniel James obviously being rested today, but it's that central midfield area which is the place I'm worried about, if I'm honest, because let's be honest, with the current situation that we have with the central midfielders that we have, it's going to be a case of, it's kind of like a smash and grab. We don't know what we're going to get from game to game. Even when Pogba was there last season, he was very inconsistent still, but he's that catalyst to create most things as well. What did everyone think in regards to the overall performance? Obviously, some of your comments there saying that it was Barcelona-esque in the second half. I mean, it looked good. We looked a lot better, but what I would like to have seen, like I said, is us going and making it 6s, 7s. I don't think we've scored 5 goals at Old Trafford for quite some time, going back to the early, 2010, 2011. So it's been a long, long time since we've bagged tons and tons of goals. So at the moment, is Ollie the right man for the job? Is Ollie the man to stay the course long term? I'm not one for jumping around as some people are in terms of management. I'd like to stay with one manager for an extended period of time, regardless of what situation we're in. We need to support the manager at the time. I think Ollie, as we all know, rushed into the situation, so was making a decision a bit prematurely. But there you go. That's what happens. I think for Ollie, we see how we go to the end of the season. He's got a 3-year contract. He was given a 3-year contract. We see where we are in the summer. That being said, Ollie's planning for the future, like he's going to be here for the next 10 years. That's why he's buying in certain players. So for me, the club and the manager need to be aligned with the type of players and the ethos and the direction that the club's going in. Because if you've got Ollie going off on a tangent, buying young players here, young players there, future, and then all of a sudden, the guys upstairs decide to change Ollie, the next manager comes in, I want to win now. I'm going to be buying your Zlatan Ibrahimovic's, your Lewandowski's, because I want to win now. I don't want to wait 5 years because I'm probably not going to be here in 5 years, which is the sort of like the mantra of Mourinho. The club and the manager need to be aligned. So for me, the club have to be saying to a manager, right, this is the direction we want to go in. We need you to align with us. So when you bring in players, should you ever leave, the club's going in the right direction. That being said, I don't believe we should just be buying young players throughout the course of our development. I think we do need some experience in and around the squad. If you look at, I think De Gea, where is he? 28 now. Harry Maguire's 26, going to be 27. Who else we've got in there of senior years? Fred's 26. Lingard's 27 now. That's pretty much. Obviously got one matter who is, a squad player. But ultimately, you're not, it's not ideal to have so many young players. Let's be honest. Because obviously, as Alan Hansen once said, you can't win anything with kids, as we once knew was famously proven wrong. Question is, will superstar players want to play for Ollie, says Raymond Moore. At the moment, as you say, superstar players, for me, that's a question for European-based players. Are they going to want to come and join Manchester United? Are they going to want to come and join our current predicament? Because we are in a rebuild. We are trying to get back to where we were before. So there is going to be a certain period of lull, of disappointment, if you like. So for me, it'll be the case that, we do need to confirm 2 players, like, say, for example, Dybala's, who wasn't, he was going to come just for an extortion amount of money. But ultimately, no, is the answer to the question. The European-based players, they won't want to come to Manchester United because they can see the predicament that we're in. British-based players, I still think that draw is still there. Hence why Harry Maguire left Leicester to come here. Obviously, Wan-Bissaka as well. Daniel James was in the Championship. But, for me, still, the draw of British players is still there. I like to think it would be tested if we do go after the likes of James Maddison in the summer. Obviously, there's reports of that being brought forward to January. I doubt we'll look to sign James Maddison in January. But if that was to happen, then brilliant. I'd like to say that yeah, we do have the draw for the European players, but I don't think that's the case anymore. That's why we end up with people like Dybala turning us down, or saying if I'm going to go to Manchester United, it's going to cost you loads of money, 300 grand a week. Chimizzi says, please, are we still expecting any new additional players by January? January, yes, is the answer to that. Ollie's coming out and said a couple of times himself, you know, there's a couple of players that he does want to bring in. There's a few deals that looking at, but at least looking to bring in 2 players. Obviously, he didn't specify on those players, but we do know one of those is Erling Haaland from Salzburg in Austria. So, yeah, there is work looking to be done in January. I think Ollie's looking at least 2 players, I think he'd like to get on board at the moment. One of them being Haaland. I believe another one would be a central midfielder, if he's wise. I don't think we should be buying any centre-backs at the moment because we've got Tunesebe who's looking to press Lindelof for his place. I believe should Lindelof nor Tunesebe be able to establish themselves as Maguire's partner for the rest of the season, I believe we may look at bringing in a top draw centre-back, which I think we need to. If we can't establish... For me, Victor Lindelof, as a centre-back, you need to be able to head the ball. Victor Lindelof struggles to head the ball away. And I'm thinking to myself, yo, you're a centre-back. You need to be able to get rid of the ball when it's in the air. And he struggles with that. And we saw with the own goal as well, where he just stood there. Ball went over De Gea, and he stood there, went in off his knee, flat-footed, not being able to read the game. So, yeah, for me, we do need to look at certain positions, really. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'd like to think we do a bit of business in January as well. Hopefully we can, make it a just reward and they come in and have a big impact, but we shall see. Just wanted to touch on the review of the game. It was a good 4-1 win for us. Man in the match for me was Martial with his 2 goals. He's Jekyll and Hyde guy in our squad. But yeah, for me, it was a good performance, especially in the sort of like second half. We sort of like did a sort of smash and grab in the first half, where Newcastle's, a lot of our goals today come from Newcastle mistakes, where we've pressed them hard the pitch. And that's what the pressing game is about. So it worked. But yeah, much appreciated if you joined me today. Don't forget, if you're new, subscribe, leave a like and share. And I'll catch you next one, guys. Take care. See you soon.